What's up, everybody? We're back at the win playing some 5, 10, 20 again. And for one of the first hands of the night, I wake up with 10-9 suited of diamonds in the hijack. And it does fold around to me. I decide to put out the open of $30. There's no $20 straddle on for the first hand. And it does fold around to cut off. And they actually put in the 3-bet to $100. And the person 3-betted me is no other than Jamon Burton. Shout out to him. Getting to play with him at a table for the first time in my life. Hopefully one of these days I can grow my channel to be as great as his. Shout out to him again. But yeah, it does fold all the way back around to me. And I am going to be putting in the call. Let's battle. So we're going to go heads up to a flop of ace, king, 6, 2 diamonds. Not the greatest flop for me, but I do flop the flush draw. 10 high flush draw could be really good here. Reason I said it's not the greatest flop is due to the ace and the king being on the board. Of course, worried about that. That just smacks his 3-betting range, right? So I do start out with a check. He puts out a bet of $70. And not going to go for the check raise this time. Just going to be putting in the call. Turn comes the 3 of clubs, relative brick. This doesn't help my range. Doesn't help their range at this point in time. I do put in a check. And my opponent decides to check back. And we go to the river. It comes the 7 of hearts. And now I have a tough decision here. Do I want to put Jamon to the test? Do I want to put him to the test? I have a busted flush draw here. Not going to be bluffing this 100% of the time. But hey, I say F it. I'm going for it. I put out a bet of $240. And it feels like I couldn't even get the chips in the middle before he snap calls. And I pretty much just tell him, you got it. And he just turns over ace 5 of clubs. So he does have a weak ace there. That's going to call all the time to my size on the river. Nothing I can really do. But hey, hopefully I can beat him in a hand later on in this video. For the next hand, we wake up with pocket kings, the Cowboys.
They are an accident waiting to happen.
In a double board hold'em bomb pot here at the win. Each player is going to be putting in $30. And we're going to be going 7 ways to a flop of Jack, Deuce, 3, 2 diamonds, and Ace, 9, Queen, 2 hearts. And I am in middle position for this hand. We all pretty much check all the way around to the button. And they decide to put out a bet of $80. Small blind puts in the call. And with having pocket kings here, obviously we don't like the ace on the first board. But we are very ahead of the second board with pocket kings. And we do have a king of diamonds. We can go back to a diamonds for a flush. So of course you're going to be putting in the call here. So we're going to go 3 ways to a turn, and it comes the queen of diamonds and the queen of spades. So very interesting card here. For one of the boards, the queen of diamonds comes in and it brings in a flush, but I do have the king of diamonds, so 1 more diamond and I have the king high flush. But on the other board, it actually peers the board. So there's now 3 queens out there. The only queen left in the deck is the queen of clubs. Hopefully none of these players have it. Small blind does put in a check. I put in a check. And button actually checks back rather quickly here. So we're going to go to the river, and it comes the 8 of hearts and the 5 of hearts. So unfortunately, no diamond on the river for me on one of the boards. And I'm probably going to be losing the other board a lot. But let's see what we can do here. Small blind actually does check. And I think about, do I ever want to bet here? I mean, I still feel really good about one board, but obviously the other board, can I get my opponent to fold? And I'm like, yeah. You know, this time I'm just going to put in a check. Let's just try to get the showdown. And then on the river, when I do check to button, they actually do put out a bet of $230. And then small blind thinks for a little bit. They actually put in a call themselves. And then I start to think here about the line that everybody took here. At this point where I'm gauging everybody's ranges, I just really don't believe anybody has a queen. It just doesn't make any sense. Nobody has a queen. Don't even think anybody has a flush at this point. I'm looking pretty good here. And I'm like, small blind puts in a call. Oh, man. You know, that's a little bit weak to me. If you had a good hand, you would be raising here, right? If you had a nut somewhere, you would be raising. So I say, F it. I'm putting them to the test. We put in the check rizzle all the way up to $1,030 in this bomb pot. A massive check raise. And Button thinks about it for a little bit, but does let his cards go. And I'm up here thinking at this point, I have to take this pot down. Come on now. Like, this line is so freaking strong. But then small blind actually doesn't fold right away. He goes into the tank of all tanks. Tanks for a minute, takes for 2 minutes. And I'm like, good God. I'm like, what is he thinking about calling with? Because I know he's not going to raise at this point. Then eventually he does flick in the call. I say I got pocket kings, and he turns over ace 2 of spades. Are you kidding me? Ace 2 of spades. I was rather surprised by this call. I couldn't believe it. He literally called an ace, no kicker. Guess they just said, hey, I'm bluffing. I look like a bluffer at this table. No believing me. And hey, I mean, crazy call, but it did work. We end up chopping the pot, so I do make some money, but I really just wanted to take it all down. And next hand, we have an interesting pot here. I wake up with pocket tens, and this time the $20 straddle is actually on. It does fold all the way around to me in low jack, and I decided to open up to $50. High jack actually puts in the 3-bet to $120. And cutoff actually puts in the call. Does fold all the way back around to me, and I have other plans here. The 3-bet size into 120, and with the cold call there, I do not want to take pocket tens 3-way this time. I could call, but hey, I said I have other plans, so we're going to put in the sexy 4-bet all the way up to $420, putting them really in a tough spot here. To my surprise, hijack actually put in the call, and then cutoff comes along with the call as well. This is not a good spot for me in a 4-bet pot, going 3 ways to flop. Not what I wanted. But yeah, here we are, and the flop is going to come jack 6-8 rainbow. Not a good flop for me. That jack out there is really rough. Somebody can have ace jack suited, pocket jacks even. I mean, it's just, I could be behind to so many hands. But I do decide, hey, I am the pre-flop aggressor. I am going to put out a small wager here to see maybe in some words I can take it down if somebody has like ace queen, etc., things like that. So I do put out a bet of just $300 just to gauge and see where I'm at. Player to my left and hijack does put in the call, and then we see the bad news. Cutoff announces they're all in for $1,700, and I'm just here looking at my tens like, what am I going to do? How can I call here? I do think about it for maybe like 30 seconds. I don't even know what I'm thinking about because I'm never going to call. It's just one of those spots where it's like, damn, they go all in and you have so much invested in the pot and you want to put that last bit of money in. But it's just like, I'm just behind. I know I'm going to lose. Happy I thought about it for a little bit, but hey, it's just a snap fold. Can't do anything, especially with one player to my left, and it's just so much money to put in, an extra 1,400. Can't do it. I do lay down my cards, and hijack actually lays down their cards as well. Cutoff does flip over one card, and they do show the jack of spades, so we were massively behind. Good fold, Brandon. Good fold. And next hand up, we have 10-9 suited of hearts in the big blind. The $20 straddle is on, and under the gun actually puts in the limp. Cutoff makes it 70. Small blind puts in the call. I put in a call as well. And the under the gun limp is actually going to be calling as well. So we're going to go 4 ways to a flop of king 10-4, 2 diamonds. Do hit second pair, and there's one heart on the board, looking pretty good. Have a lot of equity here, but I mean, obviously we're behind to a lot. Let's see if we can improve. And surprisingly on the flop, it does check all the way around. So we're going to go to a turn, and it comes the 7 of hearts. That's a very nice card. Perfect card for me. I now have a pair and a flush draw. So even more equity on the turn. Love to see it. Small blind actually puts in the check. I decide to be a little bit aggressive here with everybody checking on the flop. I put out a bet of $150. The person to my left that limped under the gun actually puts in the call. And both other players do fold. So we're going to be heads up, and we go to a river, and it comes the king of hearts. Oh, baby, Valentine's Day is coming a little late this year, but I'm not complaining. We have a 10 high flush. Love to see it. And now I'm thinking here on river, okay, what size do I want to use here? I'm thinking. And this time around, I decide to just use a very super small wager of just $100. It's maybe like 25, maybe like 20% or less of the pot here. So really super small size. And then my opponent thinks about it a little bit and they actually raise it up. Oh, baby. That's what I wanted to see. They make it $330. Beautiful. I'm never folding here, of course, especially after betting that small. I pretty much snap call. They turn over king, queen for trip kings on the river. But sorry, man, I'm going to be taking it down with this 10 high flush. Let's go. And for the next hand, the $20 straddle is on. And we wake up with ace king offsuit under the gun. Love to see it. I open up to $50. It does fold all the way around to small blind. And they're going to be putting in the $50 call. And big blind actually puts in the $50 call as well. The $20 straddle does fold. So we're going to be going heads up to a flop of 10-9-8. All diamonds. Hoping diamonds are forever. Need to get to this turn or river. Just give me a diamond and I will have this stone cold nuts here. Small blind puts in the check. Big blind puts in the check. And this time, instead of betting on this super dynamic board, I know I do have the nut flush draw. I could bet here, but I say, this time I'm going to chill a little bit, pump the brakes. I'm going to put in a check. We go to a turn and the blankest card in the deck, a deuce. What am I going to do with this? Doesn't really do anything. Oh, just had to hope somebody doesn't have pocket deuces, of course. But yeah, we are still drawing to the stone cold nuts, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Small blind actually puts in a check. And big blind comes in with the massive overbet. Makes it $300, pretty much an almost 1.7 to 2x pot. Oh man, this is the same guy that actually called me when I had the pocket kings that I tried to bluff them earlier. And yeah, I'm just thinking here like, well, I mean, I can't fold. I'm drawing to the nuts and I'm in position. Can't ever fold this spot. I know they bet a lot, but hey, gonna have to call and see that river. So I do flick in the call and small blind folds. So we're gonna go heads up to the river and it comes to 2 of clubs. Another rubber ducky. Not really liking it. But I do like the fact that big blind actually slows down and puts in the check. And I'm like, do I want to bet here? Do I want to bet? I can either bluff. If I check, I'm probably going to lose a lot. I can still beat some hands. So it's a lot that's going through my mind. A lot of other factors going into it. But this time I do decide to put in a check. Just hoping somehow ace high wins. But unfortunately my opponent flips over. It's 10-8 off. So they pretty much had 2 pair, which explains their massive bet on the turn. I just, muck my ace high, unfortunately. And yeah, so this person right now wears 0-2 against them. And for the next hand, we wake up with pocket aces, the Rockets, and the $20 straddle. Pretty much a big straddle special, I guess, because it's not big blind. I don't know. Call it whatever the hell you want to call it. We got aces. It does fold all the way around the button. And this is the same guy that has beaten me in 2 hands at the table. We're going to throw his picture up on the screen because he said it is all right. It's going to be some beard versus beard violence going on in this hand. We're going to keep his picture up there. He does open button to $80. Does fold all the way around to me. And I put in a 3-bet to $260. And they tank for a little bit and decide to make it $800. I'm like, okay, I'm not complaining. We have pocket aces, have roughly $2,470 total stack that I started with. So y'all know what time it is. We're going to have an Andre Mama moment. I am all in. My opponent pretty much snap calls. We have pocket aces. He did ask if I wanted to run it twice. I didn't know that they actually changed this at the win. You can run it twice. But I said, I got aces. I'm running it 1 time. Let's see if our beard can beat his beard this time around. Flip or? Aces. And what a clean run out that was. This guy's been whooping my ass all day, but this time he's the one that got fucked. And come on, I just won a $5,000 pot. If there's ever a reason to like and subscribe, I believe that's a good reason to. Also, let me know in the comments below the last time you fucked somebody with pocket aces. And next hand, I wake up with ace jack offsuit and under the gun. $20 straddle is on. I do open it up to $50. Fold all the way around to button and they put in a call, and small blind, who just sat back down at the table, is going to be put in the call as well. So we're going to go 3 ways to a flop of ace 8 10. 2 spades. Don't have a spade in my hand. Looking a little bit rough here. Small blind does put in the check. And I actually decide to put out a bet of $70. And, you know, sometimes I can bet here. Sometimes I can check. I do decide to go for the betting option. So I do bet. And button comes along with the call. And small blind comes along with the call. Not looking pretty good here. We go to a turn and it comes the Queen of Diamonds. So really good card, actually. I am drawing to the kind of nuts here. If a king comes, obviously I have the nut 4 card straight. If a 9 comes, I also have a straight with a jack. But I am losing to king jack. So have to be a little bit worried here. And oddly on this card, small blind just decides to donk and leads for $180. And now I'm in a really weird spot here because I still have button behind me, and button can just have this board smashed. They could have just already hit a straight on the turn, but obviously small blind is leading, saying that they have the straight or saying they have some sort of strong hand. I don't know. I'm confused, but they're leading, and I do think about it, and I do decide to put in a call, obviously hoping that button does not have a really strong hand. I am drawing to that straight, like I said, so hey, I say let's just try to see if river. Unfortunately, after I do call, button actually raises all the way up to $800. So kind of the exact situation that I did against him with pocket kings, right? It's the same guy with the beard. We've just been battling the whole night. Puts us both in a really tough spot, and this is really strong raise here, especially with small blind and just leading out like this. I mean, I don't know what they have. I think this time they just really have a super strong hand, and small blind actually folds. Once small blind folds and they were repping the strongest hand here, I say, you know what, I'm going, take the pot. I know I'm never good here. There's no way why I'm one pair with a jack kicker is going to be good. So yeah, nice hand, man. And next hand, I wake up with king queen offsuit in the cutoff. $20 straddle is on at the win, and I open up to $50. Does fold all the way around to big blind, and he puts in the call, and the $20 straddle decides to defend their straddle as well. So we're going to be going 3 ways to a flop of king 6-5 rainbow. Looking pretty good here. I pretty much have top pair, top kicker here. Nobody is going to have ace king. We hope nobody has ace king. If they do, oh well, I don't know why the hell you have ace king here, but sometimes people will. They're wildin'. All right, so it does check around to me, and I decide to put out a bet of $50. Big blind actually raises to $150. So they do put in a nice check raise there, and then the straddle puts in the call. The straddle puts in the call after the check raise. And I saw this happen in game. I honestly don't know what the hell I was thinking. This is so freaking strong, ladies and gentlemen. So strong. And I think, and actually put in the call anyway. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'm never good here. Just freaking fold this hand. King queen is just never going to be good. I don't know what I was hoping for. A queen on the turn maybe is my only out if somebody already has 2 pair. If a king comes, I'm probably still drawing dead because they already have a boat with like a set or some other 2 pair they have on the flop. I am just drawing so dead here. So dead. But we do go to a turn, and it comes to 10 of clubs after, you know, I'm just lighting money on fire. Big blind does put in a check. And of course, to no surprise, the straddle does put out a bet of $450. And I'm just sitting here, great, I have somebody acting to my left, and I just should have never even freaking called the flop. Why am I calling? I'm just lighting money on fire. What am I doing? At least I proceed to finally just understand that my top here is no good. Sometimes you have to understand that. And I do just lay it down. And then big blind actually folds as well and does flip over and shows that he folds a king. But the straddle never shows the hand. I'm pretty sure they just had us freaking destroyed. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. And next hand we have ace 5 offsuit. $20 straddle is on once again, and I am in cutoff. I open up to $50. It does fold all the way around to the straddle, and they put in a call. We're gonna go heads up to a flop of a jack 4-3, 2 clubs. The straddle does put in a check, and this time with my ace high, not much going on, you know, could see bet, but I'm like, I'm just gonna chill this time. I do put in the check. Turn comes the king of hearts. The straddle actually checks again. And at this point, I'm like, not going to be putting on the brakes anymore. I am going to be starting to bet here. Yes, I'm betting my ace high. I have nothing going on besides having a gutter. Oh, well, we're putting a bet. We're putting pressure on this double check. And I do put out a bet of $90. My opponent thinks about it for a couple of seconds and does put in a call. River brings in the 10 of clubs. They check. So the flush draw from the flop did just get there on the river. Could I be worried about that? Yes. Should I be worried about that? Yes. Am I just going to ignore that the flush got there on the river? Yes. So we load up the bet. We put out a bet of $210, not caring about anything going here. We have ace high. I don't feel like I can win this spot. I'm betting. And my opponent thinks about it for a little bit, and they do lay it down. I look down at my cards, look for the annoying card to show, and I do show the 5 of hearts to be annoying. And my opponent actually was able to call out my hand, and they did say I had ace 5. And can you believe it? I wake up with pocket aces again for the second time tonight in the straddle, a big straddle special. Love to see it. Under the gun +1 does go to $50, and low jack actually puts in the call. It does fold all the way around to me, and I'm going to put it in the sexy 3-bet squeeze here. I bump it all the way up to $280. We are playing very deep here, roughly almost 3K, so I am sizing up here to 280. Under the gun does fold, but low jack, same person I just won that ace 5 hand against, does put in a call. So we're here, we're ready to battle. We go to a flop of jack deuce 7 rainbow. This is about the greatest flop I can ever ask for with pocket aces. Are you kidding me? I'm literally losing to nothing here besides pocket 7s and pocket jacks. If you have that, GG's everybody, we're about to get stacked. And on the flop, I decide to put out a bet of $300, roughly about 50% of the pot here. And low jack, he does put in the call. We're going to go to a turn, and it comes the 3 of hearts. Beautiful card. That's what I want to see. Nothing has changed yet. The board is now just rainbow, so we do not have any flush draws out there on the turn. And what else am I going to do here besides the double barrel? We're going to be putting in a bet of $600, roughly 50% of the pot. Once again, that's the size that I'm going with. And low jack does take a little bit longer this time, but they do put in the call. Just need a clean river here, ladies and gentlemen. We go to it, and it comes the jack of spades. Are you kidding me? What is up with these rivers? Feels like I'm playing online poker or something, right? But no, that's just poker. That's how it works. You can't get mad. Obviously, this is not the card I wanted to see. At least they can't have pocket jacks, right? I mean, unless they just have quads. But the problem is that I can lose to a jack here now if they were just calling. And I do go deep into the tank here for a little bit, thinking, what do I need to do with pocket aces here? And after weighing a bunch of factors going through my mind, I do decide to put in the check. And luckily, thank the Lord, my opponent snap checks back. That's what I wanted to see. I flip over my pocket aces, and they do just muck their cards. So basically, they just had some sort of pocket pair. And yeah, they actually did let me know if the jack didn't come on the river, and I did triple off there. They were going to consider calling, so maybe we lost some money there. But I mean, they didn't really lose because they checked back, and if they had a jack, I would have been a rough spot. So I'm not complaining. Sometimes you got to be happy about taking on a pot. You can't be greedy. And it looks like we're catching heat at the World Series of Poker already. We end our second session here with a profit of $1,475. And if you like that session, make sure you check this one out right here where I make the biggest bluff I've made all year, and I flop quads.